hand over his key right now, or I call the police and file an immediate formal eviction before you even unpack those boxes." My sister, Chloe, stood in my hallway holding 2 massive suitcases, staring at me like I had lost my mind, while my ex-husband's car was barely out of the driveway. The ink on our divorce papers wasn't even dry yet, but according to rumors she had been spreading to our family, she had already planned this entire move weeks in advance. Speculation is she thought I was too broken down by the divorce to stand up for myself, but what if I told you she walked straight into a trap I laid the moment I signed those papers? Look, when your own flesh and blood tries to claim the life you just walked away from, you don't break down and cry. You give them a choice that completely destroys their plans. If you're new here, subscribe. I post a new story every day. Because honestly, the sheer audacity of walking into a newly divorced woman's home and assuming you're taking over the lease is something that still makes my head spin. Let's step back for a second so you can understand the sheer snake-like behavior I was dealing with here. My ex, Jason, and I were together for 5 years, but the last 2 were absolute misery. Constant arguments, total disrespect, and a complete breakdown of trust. I bought our house using my own inheritance prior to the marriage, meaning the home was legally mine alone, a fact Jason hated. When I finally filed for divorce and won full possession of the property, Jason had 30 days to clear his belongings out. Guess who was suddenly visiting Jason, to help him pack, every single weekend during those 30 days? My sister, Chloe. Yeah, my own sister. She'd show up, barely say 2 words to me, and spend hours in the guest room or garage with Jason, supposedly helping him sort through his stuff. Wait, let me rethink how obvious it was in hindsight. I'll be honest, I didn't expect what came next, but I noticed little things disappearing from my house. A set of spare house keys. My ex's extra garage clicker. When I asked Jason about the missing keys on his final move-out day, he shrugged it off and lied straight to my face, saying he must have misplaced them in a packing crate. I knew right then that he gave them to Chloe. So, the very morning after Jason officially signed the final release forms and drove away for good, I heard the front door unlock at 8 a.m. I walked down the stairs, and there was Chloe. She had 3 rolling bags, 2 boxes of clothes, and a smug little grin on her face. She looked around my living room, took a deep breath, and said, "Well, since Jason is gone, I figured you shouldn't live in this big place all alone. I'm moving into the master bedroom." I mean, who does that? Who just unlocks your front door 24 hours after your marriage ends and claims a room? Would you have kept your composure, or would you have thrown her bags right out onto the lawn? Let me know below, because I had to dig deep not to lose it. Anyway, Chloe carried her first bag toward the stairs like she owned the place. She told me, "Look, you're obviously emotionally unstable right now, so I'll handle the house. I'll pay 1/4 of the mortgage, and we can share the kitchen." She actually thought she was doing me a favor. She assumed that because I was grieving the end of my marriage, I'd welcome the company and swallow the disrespect. What she didn't know was that I had hired a locksmith the exact second Jason drove away the previous afternoon. Every lock on the exterior doors had been rekeyed, but I deliberately left the old deadbolt unlocked that morning just to see if she'd actually try to use the stolen key. And she fell for it completely. I stepped right in front of the staircase, blocked her path, and laid down the choice she never saw coming. "Chloe," I said, my voice ice cold. "You have 2 options right now, and you have exactly 60 seconds to choose." She laughed, folding her arms. "Option for what? I have a key. Option 1, I told her. You hand over that stolen key, take your bags, and walk out that door right now. You tell Mom and Dad that you made a mistake, and you never step foot on my property again." Her smile dropped a little bit, but she tried to double down. "And what's option 2? "Option 2, I said, pulling my phone out of my pocket. "I call the police right now for illegal entry using a stolen key. I file a formal trespassing charge, and I show the officer the security footage of you unlocking my door without permission." She turned red. "You wouldn't arrest your own sister. I'm family. I'm just trying to help you. Try me," I said, unlocking my phone screen and hovering my thumb over the numbers. Now, here's where I'd have lost it if she didn't realize how serious I was. See, Chloe works for a local government office. A misdemeanor trespassing charge or a police report involving break-ins would completely ruin her security clearance and put her job on the line. She stood in my hallway, looking at my phone, then looking at me, realizing for the first time in her life that her fake, caring sister, routine wasn't going to save her. "You're a monster," she hissed, her voice shaking. "Jason was right about you. You're ruthless. And you're a thief who thought she could move into my life the moment my husband left," I replied. "You have 30 seconds. She snatched her hand out of her jacket pocket, slammed the stolen key onto my entryway table, and grabbed the handles of her suitcases. "Dad is going to hear about this," she screamed as she yanked the front door open. "Good," I yelled back as she stumbled down the porch steps. "Tell him to bring a truck, because if I see you near my driveway again, I'm calling towing services." Now, if you think the drama ended when she walked down those steps, you don't know toxic family dynamics. 10 minutes after Chloe drove off, my phone started ringing off the hook. My dad called me, crying and furious, telling me that Chloe had come to their house sobbing, claiming I had thrown her out into the street in the middle of a rainstorm and threatened her with violence. Typical, right? Manipulative people always run to create a victim narrative the second their plan fails. I didn't argue with my dad. I didn't raise my voice. I simply opened my security camera app, downloaded the clear audio and video of Chloe unlocking my door with the stolen key, demanding the master bedroom, and me calmly giving her the choice to leave. I sent the video directly into our family group chat with a simple message. Chloe tried to use a stolen key to move into my house 24 hours after my divorce. Here is the unedited video. Anyone who defends her behavior is blocked. The silence in that group chat was absolute. My dad texted me privately 5 minutes later, saying, "I am so sorry. I had no idea she did that." Chloe hasn't spoken to me since that day. I found out later through a mutual cousin that she and my ex-husband had actually planned for her to move in so she could slowly pressure me into selling the house to Jason at a lower value. They thought they were playing chess with my life, but they completely forgot that it was my home, my mortgage, and my rules. I'll be real with you guys, standing my ground in that hallway was the moment I finally reclaimed my life after years of toxic control. It taught me that family titles don't give anyone a free pass to disrespect your boundaries or exploit your pain. When people show you that they are willing to step on you while you're down, you don't owe them grace, you owe yourself protection. What would you have done if your sibling pulled a move like this right after a divorce? Would you have called the cops immediately, or given them the choice like I did? Drop your verdict in the comments below, because I really want to read how you guys would have handled this confrontation. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I post a brand new story every single day. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next confession.